Make way for the Molly McGuires. They're drinkers, they're liars, but they're men. Make way for the Molly McGuires. You'll never see the likes of them again. Down the mines, no sunlight shines. Them pits, they're black as hell. In modest style, they'll do their time in Paddy's prison cell. For they'll curse the days they travel far, and down their fears in the jar. So make way for the Molly McGuires. They're drinkers, they're liars, but they're men. Make way for the Molly McGuires. You'll never see the likes of them again. Backs will break and muscles ache. Down there, there's no time to dream of fields of fire and women's arms just dig that bloody seam. For they sweat their bodies and their brow. Who dares to push them around? So make way for the Molly McGuires. They're drinkers, they're liars, but they're men. Make way for the Molly McGuires. You'll never see the likes of them again. So make way for the Molly McGuires. They're drinkers, they're liars, but they're men. So make way for the Molly McGuires. You'll never see the likes of them again.
Extra Stout is a real gem amongst beers. Secondly, Guinness Extra Stout, which was developed to match changing customer trends and tastes, is a wonderfully balanced beer full of character. Guinness Extra Stout is enjoyed in Australia, North America, and right here in Europe. Finally, Guinness Draft, using innovative draft dispense systems and widget technology to release a mix of nitrogen and carbon dioxide in the beer, causing a surge that creates that tight-knit creamy head. This wonderful beer, which looks brilliant and is full of flavour, is enjoyed throughout Europe, North America, and around the world. Now you're familiar with our beers, why not try some for yourself?
Maturation allows the beer time to settle and to mature, to establish its full characteristics and Guinness flavour. We eagerly await the time when the maturation period is complete, so we can ensure the beer has reached perfection. After the beer is tasted and confirmed perfect, it is transferred to these, the final cellar tanks, where the brewing process is complete. At each stage of the brewing process, quality is paramount, and we insist on perfection. But there's one last check before any Guinness can leave St. James's Gate, and that's the taste. I always ask myself the question, will Arthur be happy?
Shot in the Cooper shop at St. James's Gate Brewery, Dublin, captured for posterity the atmosphere that existed when the Cooper was still a vital cog in the Guinness wheel, and clearly shows the skill of the master cooper and the ancient craft of coopering. The coopers select their timber, carefully cutting away defects and sapwood. Staves are allowed to stand for up to 5 years. In the cooper shop, the weathered ends are sawn off and the stage is set for us to see the traditional craft of coopering. us step by step through all the stages, from the first rough listing with the axe to the final driving home of the chime with the maul. We will see something of the skill and effort that went into the manufacture of the once familiar Guinness wooden cask. During the backing and hollowing operations, the stave is held in a jig called a horse or mare, which is an iron frame with a foot-operated spring clamp. No rule or gauge is used. Dick relies on his eye to judge the accuracy of his work. A watertight seal will be achieved without the use of any adhesives, nails, or screws. To render the oak staves pliable, the cask is placed in a steam bell. It is then subjected to steam at a pressure of 130 pounds per square inch for half an hour. A wire rope is looped over the splayed end and drawn tight by a hand-operated windlass. Over a small fire of oak shavings, the inside of the cask is charred or blazed. This removes any acidity in the timber and seals the pores of the wood. It's a tricky operation. Too much, and the over-blackened cask becomes a write-off. Too little, and the preserving effect will be inadequate. While it's still hot, the cask is pared all around each of its ends with a hoil. And a groove is prepared with a croze on the inside circumference to receive the heads. The cask is braced against a section of a tree trunk called a block. The block is sunk firmly in the ground in the cooper's berth or work area. Dick will now tailor-make a suit of hoops from wrought iron. The outside is shaved smooth with the tip lock. When the hoops are in place, the bung hole is drilled. The heads for the cask prepared during the steaming of the cask. The rough oak staves are transformed into an exact and watertight seal. A split rush is inserted to ensure a perfect seal. Square oak dowels are used to join the head sections. This is the only operation in which the cooper uses a tool for measuring. So, there it is. The final blows are struck. The maul driving home the chime. Another handmade cask is ready for the road, and the look of satisfaction on the face of Master Cooper Dick Flanagan shows justifiable pride in a difficult job well done. The craft of the cooper is dying, but thankfully we have managed to preserve this little piece of history for future generations to see.
Marks the 250th anniversary of the brewery. To celebrate this, I'm going to take you on a journey that my forebears took that created the world's largest brewery and indeed the iconic drink of Ireland. Over the last 7 generations, my family innovated, took huge risks and seized opportunities to build a global empire, all based around the tap stuff. This historical journey follows the footsteps of Arthur Guinness when he created the brewery 250 years ago. Back in the 18th century, my ancestors would travel by horse and cart. The Guinnesses were about to start on a great journey to becoming professional brewers. In 1755, Arthur and his brother Richard made a short trip from Salisbury to Leicester. Happy enough, Richard is a journey. In a classic Bedford Guinness delivery bowl, I tracked down
Today, some 1 billion pints of Guinness are produced in a year. But I wanted to know what the master thought of my own very small efforts at brewing in East Anglia.
John, may I ask you to try some of this Elven Stout? We've been brewing it for a year or two, and I'd love your opinion.
I think if I were going back to the farming set, I'd put some more CO2 into this.
As the business grew, my family were able to enjoy the financial rewards of Arthur's legacy. Their lifestyles through the 19th century were in stark contrast to those of the average Dublin family. In 1890, the Ivy Trust was set up by my great-great-grandfather to transform the lives of many thousands of families.
It was taking auditions anywhere in the world were done during that period of time. I was in the audition of that, and it was as it is put together the Valley Improvement Plan, as it was called, and put it to Dublin City Council, and in fact from his own part bought out the entire area.
My journey comes full circle when I return to County Kildare on a pilgrimage to discover where many of my ancestors, including Arthur, have been laid to rest.
In the adjoining vault are deposited the mortal remains of Arthur Guinness, made of St James's Gate, with those also of the children and grandchildren of the aforesaid Arthur and Olivia. And there they all are, heavens made.
As I was going over the Cork and Kerry mountains, I met with Captain Farrell and his money he was counting. I first produced me pistol, I then produced me rapier, saying stand and deliver, for you are bound to savour. Mushering, no one do, no one laugh, like all the daddy-o, like all the daddy-o, there's whiskey in the jar. I counted out his money, it made a pretty penny, I put it in me pocket, I took it home to Jenny. She sighed and she swore, she never would deceive me, but the devil will take those women, but they never can be easy. Mushering, never do, never laugh, like all the daddy-o, like all the daddy-o, there's whiskey in the jar. I went into my chamber, all for to take a slumber, I dreamt of gold and jewels, I'm sure it was no wonder. Then Jenny drew me charges, and filled them up with water, and sent for Captain Farrell to be ready for the slaughter. Mushering, never do, never laugh, like all the daddy-o, like all the daddy-o, there's whiskey in the jar. It was early in the morning, before I rose to travel, up came a band of footmen, and with them Captain Farrell. I first produced my pistol, for she'd taken away my rapier. I couldn't shoot the water, so a prisoner I was taken. Mushering, never do, never laugh, like all the daddy-o, like all the daddy-o, there's whiskey in the jar. If anyone can aid me, is my brother in the army. If I can find a station, be it Cork or in Killarney, if he'll come and join me, we go roving in Kilkenny. I'm sure he'd treat me fairer than my old sporting Jenny. Mushering, never do, never laugh, like all the daddy-o, like all the daddy-o, there's whiskey in the jar. Oh, some take delight in fishing or boating, others take delight in the